Well, hello. Hi, welcome. So happy to have you here. I love this conversation about a high converting free resource or freebie, you might hear it. Um, so welcome, and that's what we're talking about today is how to create a high converting freebie. And I also have a checklist because I love a good resource. And that is also free to you, and I'll share it and we can work through it together. So I'm Jess. Thank you so much for being here. I own Jess Hop Consulting, and I also own Creative Media, which is a full service marketing agency. So happy to have you here. Let's get into it. So, when we are creating a high converting free resource for your small business, for your consulting firm, it doesn't just have to be something downloadable like my freebie here that I'll share with you, this checklist. It could be a webinar, it could be an ebook, it could be um, a checklist, it could be some sort of blueprint to walk people through something. The possibilities are endless, but we also want to make sure that we know it's going to be a resource that people are going to use and they're going to want and will be hopefully a really great lead for you in the future. So, um, as we're working through it, be thinking about how can this free resource attract ideal clients, potential clients to you, allow you to establish your credibility within your industry and also drive high conversions. So, why am I such a huge fan of free resources? Because this is what spurred me into starting my own business, was having a resource that did amazing. It was downloaded over 800 times, and so organically. And so I am a huge proponent of this, and I've had clients that have had downloads in the thousands because their industry doesn't provide that for folks. And so it's a great first step, a great entryway into learning more about your business and how it can help people. So let's get into it. Like I mentioned, understanding your audience is really important. I have a few resources on how you can identify your messaging and who you're talking to. And so we're not going to dive into that exactly, but it's really important to know who you're talking to and your customer persona. So if you're able to go back and watch last week's video, you can check that out on customer personas because that will help you understand who you're talking to and who this free resource would even be for. The next step is making sure that you're choosing the ideal free resource for your audience. So, knowing your audience is really important, what they're looking for, what would serve them best. And it can look like a couple different things. Like I mentioned, it could look like an ebook, it could look like a checklist, it could look like templates, it could look like a webinar. So, whatever your audience is really leaning into, making sure that you're serving them in that way is ideal. The next area is talking about content, compelling content for your resource. So, making sure that you're outlining where you are showing up online, what are the platforms that you're using, are you starting an email list to keep your folks engaged and keep providing them with really valuable content? How are you showing up for them? And how are you solving their specific pain point in your content, right? So, like, for example, here I wrote down solving a specific problem will give value to your ideal client and speaking in their language in a clear and concise way. So, I have a client who's a fitness trainer and she created a 7-day workout plan with video demonstrations. So every day they're getting, one workout that they can work through. And at the end, then she um, serves them with either an offer or a coaching or a training package. Um, so be thinking about how your content can also be repurposed because then she can use those videos and the daily plans in her actual content. So Not everything needs to be brand new. Sometimes it just needs to be packaged differently. So be thinking about how you can package your content in a new way. Also, it's really important to think about how you're designing your resource. Folks like aesthetically pleasing things, eye-catching visuals, clean layout, concise language. Also making sure we're speaking to our, accessibility friends, making sure that we're using fonts and colors that people can read easily. So mobile friendliness, what does that look like for you and your freebie? So be thinking about that, how you can design an attractive resource. And if you need support with that, of course, I'm always here to help, and our agency is always here to help if you need support around creating something visually pleasing. How to promote your free resource. So it's really important to create a strategy on how you're going to promote this forward and what the next step is for folks in their customer journey once they actually download the thing, once they sign up for the webinar, once they sign up for the ebook. So the first step isn't only creating the freebie and putting the freebie out there, but it's okay. Once somebody downloads it, then what? Then what's going to happen? So we always need to be thinking a couple steps ahead. When you're thinking about your strategy for promotion, we want to think about maximizing our reach, right? We want to utilize our social media, utilize any email marketing that you have, which make sure that you're compliant with your email marketing and not just emailing everybody in your client book, but have they opted into your marketing? That's really important. And then if you're this advanced in your marketing structure, collaborating with influencers or partners or friends, maybe having some sort of a referral program. So that's always important to create down the road. Measuring your success. We want to make sure that we are successful in this um, sales process of a freebie or a free resource. So we want to make sure that we're analyzing downloads, where people are signing up from, what's your conversion rate. Um, all those things are really, really important. And I do have a social media tracker freebie that you can utilize to help you with your analytics and conversions and making sure that you're tracking them consistently. So let me share with you this freebie checklist. Here we go. Cool. Last week I didn't do so hot with sharing my screen, but I got it now. So here's our highly converting freebie checklist, and I want to point out a few things. So I am really big on low tech. So technology. How are we um, deciding on potential clients, and how are you creating resources in an easy and um, promotable way, making sure technology can provide instant delivery. So sometimes we overcomplicate technology and what it can do for us and what it can provide. Um, but we also want to be mindful of folks like things instantly. And if you think of yourself as a consumer, instant gratification is what we're all about here. Especially with marketing, giving them the resource because obviously they signed up for it, they're in a need for it. They're probably the quicker that they can get their hands on it, the quicker they can start to implement. So we want to make sure that they're getting instant delivery. I do have a um, workshop coming up pretty soon about low tech marketing for low tech folks. So if you're really interested in that, make sure you check that out. But also, like I mentioned, post freebie download. How are you determining your client receiving your freebie? How are you deciding the follow up after they download? So, all those things are super important. And as always, I'm here for a one-on-one call if you feel really bogged down in this process. And then a little bit more about me, who I worked with, where I worked, how we can work together. So, oh, and also landing page. It's really key to have a high converting landing page, which I should do workshop on. But when you are promoting a freebie or a free resource, where are they landing to? How are they getting more information about this resource? How are you addressing their pain points? So be thinking of all those things. And again, this checklist is free all the time, which is pretty cool. I'll show it here, but I'll also drop the link below. It's our highly converting freebie checklist. So, how you can convert your hopeful clients into actual clients. And I can't wait to see what you all create. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about creating, and we'll keep the conversation going. So, as always, I'm Joss. I would love to support you in your business. If you're getting stuck or if you need an outside opinion, I'm always here. Book a one on one call with me or book ongoing coaching. Would love that. Okay. So, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next workshop. Bye, everyone.